Hi everybody, so my name is Angie. I'm the nurse behind Nurse Angie J. So today, on behalf of Nurses.co.uk, I'm going to be talking to you about various things actually. I'm going to be talking to you about my role as a school nurse. We're going to be discussing things from personal statement tips, interview tips, everything. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy and find it useful. First of all, let's start with why I became a school nurse. So I became a school nurse because I'm paediatric trained, I'm peds trained, and for me, I've always known that my passion has been with working with children and young people. And what I really like about school nursing is that not only are we a service for early intervention looking at just physical health, we are also a point of call in regards to emotional and mental health well-being for children and young people. We work in sexual health. We also touch on safeguarding children and young people. So all of those things are areas that I have an interest in. And what I like about school nursing is that it allows and affords for us to have experiences and have our hands in all of those areas. So yeah, for me, that's why I also became a school nurse. Another reason why I became a school nurse is the hours as well. You know, as a parent, I think it's really important to be able to not only just work, but also spend time with your children, your child or family. And, you know, I'm always talking about work-life balance and it's so important. And I feel with school nursing, it allows me to do that. Having experience working in an acute setting where I was doing, you know, 12-hour shifts, night shifts, day shifts, you know, for me, it wasn't conducive for my lifestyle. So another reason why I came to school nursing is also the hours. You know, it's Monday to Friday, it's 9 to 5. And, you know, I've been fortunate that I also work term time only. So I get the school holidays off, you know, to spend with my child. For me, that's really important. So that's another reason why I went into school nursing. Gaining experience in school nursing, you can come from any branch of nursing, whether you work in pediatrics, whether you work in adult nursing, mental health, it doesn't really matter. Because the main thing is about transferable skills. And if you've got skills that you can transfer, you know, we all have communication skills, we communicate with families, we communicate with patients, we communicate with children, you know, we work in a multidisciplinary team, and that's, you know, working alongside all sorts of other professionals, you know, doctors, nurses, police we have to contact sometimes, social care, teachers, education staff, prisons. If we work in a multidisciplinary team, these are all transferable skills that you can also bring to school nursing. If you have experience working with children and families, whether you're like an au pair, a babysitter, if you work with vulnerable families, probation, it doesn't really matter. It's all about how you bring your transferable skills and how you can prove and show that you can do that within the role as well. To be a school nurse, you do have to do the SCPHN program, which is the Specialist Community Public Health Nursing course, which I've just completed myself. So in order to be a school nurse, to be called a school nurse, you do have to complete that, which is a year course. But there are opportunities to be a school staff nurse, and that's for people who haven't trained and done the SCPHN within school nursing. You can still work as a school staff nurse, usually band 5s. So yeah, that's an opportunity as well. What I will say is that I've noticed more and more that if you do want to progress in school nursing or within a community, you will have to do a SCPHN. So if you want to progress to a band 6, a band 7, some sort of leadership management role, you will find that people are asking, have you done the SCPHN, the Specialist Community Public Health Nurse course? So yeah, those are options for you. If you want to go into school nursing, you can work as a school nurse or a school staff nurse. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Gaining experience also, if you want to shadow, try asking if you can shadow a school nursing team just for the day or even part of the day, just to see what it is that we actually do. Because I think a lot of people have this perception that school nursing is boring. School nursing is for like the older people who are of almost retiring age because it's easy. I can guarantee you it's not boring, it's not easy, and I'm definitely not of retirement age. A personal statement is basically a way for you to showcase yourself. You're selling yourself to recruiters, why they should basically pick you. And from a recruitment view, where I've been fortunate to be part of before, I can tell you that a personal statement is what it is that we're going to be reading, to see that if you're suitable for the team, if you're suitable for the job, if you're suitable for the service. It's all about putting all your experiences down, and also linking it to the role that it is that you're applying for, whether it fits, for example. Prepping for an interview. For me, how I prep for the interview is I always read the job spec and the person spec. And I always think of scenarios that they may ask and write down possible answers. And in preparation, I have a list of common interview questions that are always asked, in terms of, for example, tell me your understanding about the role of the school nurse. Or you can insert whatever job title it is that you're going for. Or another common one is, tell me how you deal with conflict within the team. Or tell me how you would escalate a safeguarding concern. Or if you saw somebody not working towards practice standards, what would you do? Those kind of questions always tend to come up. So I always write down a list of common questions that come up and then always prep the answers beforehand. There are also some really good YouTube videos out there. So depending on what sort of banding interview you're going for, if it's band 5, band 6, band 7, there's really good YouTube interview videos out there. So I would search them and have a listen. They're really good. So my first placement, gosh, we're going back a long way here in terms of my first placement. That would have been about 13, 14 years ago. My first placement was at Great Ormond Street. So I trained at Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital, and it was actually on Ladybird Ward, where it was called Ladybird Ward back then. It's probably changed its name now. And that was a cardiology ward. And that was so fascinating. I learned so much in regards to the heart, all the heart illnesses and diseases and deformities that you come across. And because it's so specialised, it's not things that you would normally see in like a general hospital. So for that, I'm really grateful. So that was my first placement at Great Ormond Street Ladybird Ward, which is heart cardiology. My third year placement was NICU. And I think at that point, I really wanted to be a neonatal nurse. So my last placement was in NICU and SCPHN. However, as you can see, I'm not a neonatal or SCPHN nurse now. I just found after that placement, wasn't for me, I don't think. Way too emotional, seeing these little babies and incubators and tiny being born at 30 weeks, 28 weeks. I just found it so emotional. So yeah, that placement didn't transpire to my career today, but that's okay. Do you know, that's okay. That's the whole point of being a student nurse. You're getting to know what areas of nursing that you like, what you don't like, what you enjoy, what you're not quite sure about. That's the whole point. And it doesn't matter if your last placement is not the placement, it's not the job that you took once you qualified and got your PIN. That doesn't matter. No one says that you have to stay in a certain place forever. Move around, get experience everywhere, you know. My first experience of school nursing was probably about 8 years ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the health promotion side of things. So going into schools, both secondary and primary, we'll do lots of things like assemblies, we'll do classes on all various topics from healthy eating, puberty, dental hygiene, oral hygiene. We'd also, for the older kids, do things like sexual health and contraception. I love all that sort of stuff, getting in front of a class of people and just, taking all the questions, doing the presentations. I really enjoy that side of it. So that's my first experience of school nursing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video and found some useful things from there, and I will see you next time. Bye.